Hey, so the moon is in Cancer today, and it is forming some kind of crazy alignments. We have a grand sextile. The moon forms in water signs. And so the moon is forming a grand trine in water signs, and that grand trine is intersecting with another grand trine in earth signs. So we have that brings like what is the same shape as a Star of David, and we have that six-pointed star with the two intersecting equilateral triangles. And so I'm going to be talking a little bit about that today, kind of off the cuff, right? There's lots we could say about it, but there's also, as the moon continues through Cancer, it's forming an opposition with Pluto toward the end of the day. It is also forming what we call a mystic rectangle. So that is the energy of trines and sextiles and everything just kind of lining up in a rectangular fashion following the grand sextile formation. So with the energy, and by the way, I am Marina Ormes. I'm here with your Astro Vibe for Friday, November 3rd. With this energy I've been talking about. So I shared yesterday about the energy of earth and water coming together, and how many, how all the planets are in earth and water signs while the moon goes through Cancer, bringing this extra manifestation energy, the water, which is energy, together with earth, which is physicality. And so the combination of energy and physicality coming together to bring in a kind of magic. Okay, and we've also, this has been an intense moon cycle, right? So we're kind of going through that process of going through the underworld. We are transforming. We are absolutely letting go of old ways of being, shedding forms from the past, having to surrender to deeper truths that maybe we've been able to avoid up until now, or at least not wanted to face. Parts of us don't want to face some of these deeper truths, right? But now we can't, we have no choice. So, excuse me, that deeper truth of the energy of going through that underworld. So the eclipses combined with Pluto stationed direct on October 10th. So just really, as Pluto is moving through those final degrees of Capricorn, where the sun is in Scorpio, along with Mars and Mercury, really taking us into that place of the underworld. So the myth of Persephone being abducted and descending into the underworld, that is a myth of transformation. It is a story of dying to old ways of being, right? So that we can be reborn into a more, a new self, whatever that is, whatever you are becoming, whatever you are shedding, so that you can become more of who you truly are. So that's the bigger picture. And then with today's energies, we have these crazy, crazy alignments. So not only the energy of grand trines, when you have a grand sextile, grand trines bring in this flow, this it's like an antenna bringing the energy in, right? It makes everything flow more easily. It hones things right into where they need to be, bringing that sort of easy, it's not necessarily easy, because it's more like it's just accelerated. Okay, so whatever you're giving energy to is going to be accelerated, or is going to manifest more easily. So the negative along with the positive. So it's so important to have those positive intentions. The other thing about a grand sextile, though, is that you have a lot of oppositions between the planets. So when you form those two intersecting triangles, you also have the planets opposing each other in a number of different planetary polarities and pairs. So with all of those oppositions, we are feeling the irony, right? The feeling of being pulled in two different directions, the ways that my truth conflicts with your truth. It can bring up conflict. It can also just bring up two sides of the same coin, right? So noticing some of those polarities within ourselves, the dynamics we have where we want to bounce from one extreme to another, and we realize, hey, maybe instead of doing this dynamic where I'm going from one extreme to the other, I need to just step out of the dynamic completely. And that is where the healing opportunity is. And so whether that dynamic or that polarity is, let me think of an example here. So like I either binge eat or I don't eat anything, right? Like that's one example of two sides of the same coin, right? Or I am going to feel like a victim, or I'm going to be pushy. I don't know if that's quite right, but anyway, some kind of emotional or behavioral dynamic where you have these polarities pulling you in different directions, and you realize, hey, they're really two sides of the same coin. And what really needs to happen is that I need to stop playing with that coin, right? So stepping away from the dynamic completely, noticing where you get pushed or pulled in different directions, or where you flip-flop from one thing to another. So noticing that for yourself. And those oppositions are there, inviting us to integrate. So inviting us to become more than those polarities, more than the ways that we are pulled in two different directions, or we have these dichotomies or these paradoxes or these ways that we flip from one end of the spectrum to the other. So those oppositions are up as well with the grand sextile. And then as we go through the day with the moon in Cancer, so emotional, right? We've been having this Cancer moon emotional energy for the last couple of days, and needing to process our feelings, feeling things, needing that safety to go into some of the deeper feelings, needing to take care of ourselves and attend to our needs. And so toward the end of the day, we also have the moon passing through the end of Cancer, opposing Pluto. And that will be the last aspect. The moon goes void, of course, after that opposition to Pluto. So don't worry if you don't know what that means. It just means that with the moon opposing Pluto, we have again, this confrontation with truth. We can't avoid the things that we normally are able to sort of put a lid on, or be nice about, or avoid, or just sort of pussyfoot around, right? We can't avoid those things. So this push to transform is not always fun or comfortable in the middle of it, but ultimately it is really, really powerful, because it is helping us shift to a different place. So if you feel like you're overwhelmed, or your emotions are feeling like a lot, or more than you can handle, just remind yourself, hey, this is temporary. It's okay to feel what you're feeling in the moment, because it is temporary. It won't last forever. And sometimes we really need that cathartic process. We need to feel the feelings so they can be released, so that we can feel lighter and move on to new ways of being. That's the transformational process. So it is the descent into the underworld and the reemergence in the light of day, getting to become what we want to become, what we are becoming that we don't know yet. and how we're healing and growing and learning and discovering more about ourselves and what we're capable of. It's really very creative power that we are tapping into if we allow ourselves to trust the process. So trust yourself, trust the process, and then around or just after, I can't remember exactly, midnight my time, I'm on Pacific time, the moon shifts into Leo, and then we'll have a creative, outgoing, expressive weekend. So so trust the process, because it's not forever. It is, all things are happening in time exactly the way they need to. So take care of yourself, give yourself what you need, and all things will work themselves out. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Marina Ormes. You can learn more about me at astrologyheals.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. No charge at all to subscribe, and it supports my work. I appreciate you, and thanks for being here. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.